Well, welcome everyone. I am Jo Worthy and welcome to the Worthy Women Movement author interview series with all the authors from Rising into Greatness, which is stories from inspiring and courageous women. And we have one of those, another beautiful author in the house today. Welcome to Leeann. Leeann Kime, welcome to you. It's so great to catch up, and I'm sure we're going to have a great conversation.
Thank you, Jo, and I'm sure we are too.
And I want to congratulate you. I want to congratulate you for being a published author in this really divine book. And I'm going to read, for anyone listening to this, I'm going to read your bio because I know you're definitely into energy. And the energy of this book is truly, truly beautiful. There's 10 authors in total, including myself and Leeann and 8 others. And each story is unique, but they're also courageous and inspiring, as is yours, Leeann. And Leeann's title of her chapter is Rising into Greatness Through the Darkness. So I'll be asking you some questions. I'm going to actually quote some of the things in your chapter. But before we do that, I'm going to actually read your bio so people understand some of the beautiful work that you're doing and putting out into the world. Leeann Kime is an experienced coach. Leeann has mentored women into embodying their feminine presence for over 30 years through yoga, meditation, Ayurveda, medical intuition, and the art of feminine presence. Leeann has decades of psychic partnership with spirit mentors, and with their insights and healing, she guides clients to experience joy and fulfillment in their life. Leeann works with clients at a deep soul level to facilitate change in repatterning and rewiring energy fields. Together with the spirit mentors, Leeann creates change gently, lovingly, and powerfully, impacting deep internal shifts that create core energetic reconstruction of old soul debris, negative patterning, and outdated energetic loops. Leeann encourages us all to live with soul connection and expression. How beautiful is that? And what an incredible chapter that you have written. But before I actually quote some of the things that you've said, some of the very profound things that you've written about in your chapter, tell us, or tell anyone who's listening to this, what was your experience like of writing this specific chapter?
For me, it was a wonderful experience to be able to connect with like everyone to start with, and you, of course, Jo and Jane, and to have the experience to, I guess for me, it was about writing down the things that had happened throughout my life that have been the journey of my life, and to really acknowledge how far I have come in that journey. And to also, I feel like acknowledge that some of those things were actually meant to be to help me have that deep connection that I have with my spirit mentors and my intuition. And for that, I'm ever so grateful for that journey of being able to see all of that. Yeah. So that was nice.
Yeah, well, it was certainly great too. And I thank you because I talk about this collective energy in an anthology book. There's a collection of all authors all in one book. And we, through our monthly meetings, and you have your one-on-one sessions as well. But we're basically, well, not even basically, we are in this collective energy. And my intention is always to create this beautiful safe space and for the right women to come in. And my goodness me, I just want to thank you for the energy that you brought into the group as well. Leeann is a very quiet person, but she doesn't have to say much. And when she does say things, they're quite profound, but she quietly takes it all in. And I think I also love the fact that there's so many different personalities and different, within this book and the different stories. But yours is certainly, and they all have the alignment as far as being courageous and inspiring. And I want to quote the very first part of your book. I always say that, your chapter. I'm sure there's a book coming. You probably heard the saying that it's always darkest before the dawn. In my case, the time when my negative, long-suffering marriage was coming to an end because I knew I had to leave for the safety and the future of my beautiful daughter and myself was definitely of darkness before the dawn. And it took you 7 years. I agonized over the decision to leave for over 7 years. In hindsight, I can see that there was wisdom in the delay because I needed to position myself to be able to care for and keep my daughter safe on my own. Do you want to talk about that time in your life?
Hmm. I think I'll talk about like the 7 years that
Yes.
I knew I had to wait. My daughter was only tiny when I knew that that was what I would eventually occur in my life, and I needed for her to be old enough to be able to speak and have her have her voice as well. And in that time, it was like I knew that it would be so much more traumatic, so much like I would have to go through court and all of that sort of thing. And I didn't really want to do that,
Mm.
as I felt in my own inner knowing that things would have been totally different. And I had to trust my guidance. And
Yes.
I all that I could do was do my very best in that 7 years. And looking back, yes, it was the right decision. And things happened much more easily at the end.
Yes.
So that's what I felt would be the outcome, and that's what it was. And yeah, I guess I love that I could trust myself and know that it would be okay in the end. Mm.
Yeah. It's yeah, like you need to understand and read Leanne's entire chapter to understand the immense immense trust that you have in your spirit guides as well, and you really talk about that. But it's also getting back to when you left, even though it took you 7 years to leave, it was very courageous because you say on page 92, we had very little money and next to no belongings. When I first escaped to freedom, that word comes up again. There's a bit of an alignment with some people, some of the other authors in this book. Escape to freedom with my daughter. I had only $500 in savings and no furniture, not even a bed to sleep in. And the thing is, it really brings home that your freedom and your safety is far more important than those material things because we can always rebuild those things. So I think that it was really important to actually quote that part in your book, and that because that's courageous in itself. You can have a million reasons for not leaving an abusive relationship, and money can certainly be a big one. And there you are, you're left with no possessions and you had $500 in your bank account and you were just feeling free. You felt free and you rebuilt your life. And you did have some health challenges to deal with as well. But you do say I had years of energy training and a very deep connection with my spirit team to draw on. And I was guided to sit and meditate about my health and how to heal. And then you went, there was a time in your life, a very, very traumatic time in your life, where you say, I lost my baby twins at the 22-week point in my pregnancy. I delivered my twin boys prematurely, and I knew that they would pass away shortly after their birth. This could have been very traumatic, which of course it was in some levels, but the fact that you say, but my spirit team showed me what would occur before I actually went through it. Do you want to talk about those how much throughout your life, and this demonstrates in your chapter how valuable it was connecting to your spirit guides and your team to help you through these enormous grief and very
Mm.
a lot of challenges in your life.
Um, I think what to share would be that I do truly feel blessed that I was guided and I was given mm, messages, I was given information. Even at that time, I probably didn't really know as much as I know now about all of that energy, and receiving visions and guidance. Though I always felt that as time goes by, these things will come or they might be different. And it was, how do I manage myself through my grief and through my heartache, and still be like showing up, for my daughter, and showing up for life itself. You
Yeah.
know, I could have given up on life, actually. It was quite a very difficult time, and but I always wanted to show up for life. And for that, I feel very blessed that the guidance that I received and the clarity of that was, um, unmistakable. So for that, I'm grateful, and it helped me a lot. I'm not sure how to explain it helped me, but it was almost like I knew what was coming. There wasn't really much I could prepare, because how do you prepare for that?
You
But
don't.
I prepared in myself that I have this connection, I have this unwavering, um, like support, from my spirit mentors, that was really, really incredible. And to then go through the physical grief of what I needed to go through, particularly when I lost my baby twins, was, I would walk down the street and I would be leaking milk. And it was like this incredible happening that was for, a couple of weeks. Um, and when I look back on how much strength I gained from all of that, and the strength that I gained in navigating grief and actually picking up, for me, luckily, the gift of grief.
Mm.
Now I can say, when I look back now, I did take the gift of grief, and I feel very blessed
Mm.
with that experience. And then with my health, I had a scan to say you have this, and then a scan to say you don't. And the guidance to do between that point and that point was totally guided for me. And
Wow.
I am in awe, and I am so grateful. And I know that that has given me, I call it this, Joe. When they do the stripes in the army, and,
Yeah. Yeah.
I say, that's given me those stripes, and
Yeah, you've earned your
and
stripes.
no one can take them away. Those stripes, they're there, and they're courage, and they're blessings. And, well, for me, they are courage, they are blessings and gifts. And
Absolutely
I'm
courage. There's no doubt
and
about it
I'm
with your story that there's
yeah,
courage, huge amounts of courage, not just courage, bucketfuls of courage.
yeah. And, then there's all of the things that you had to do in day-to-day life with, how
Yes.
do I get money to pay for everything? When you
Mhm.
start again,
Yeah.
it's like all of that starting over again. But
You worked three
it
jobs. You
was,
say in your book that you worked three jobs,
yeah,
three part-time jobs, just so you could pay your bills and support your daughter. So you weren't afraid of hard.
yeah,
You're certainly very courageous, and you pinpoint quite a few times in your life, in your chapter, where you really, really did rise in your courage, which is all about, like, how you define rising into greatness will mean different things to different people. In your case, it's very much about rising into your courage and also trusting your soul team, your spirit team. And you said, I have an unwavering support from my spirit mentors. So that's also allowed you to rise into your greatness, into your version of your greatness. Because, and when you're coming from your soul, that's pure greatness there. And the work that you're doing and helping other people. I love this in your chapter, and this is a really great quote. It's on page 93 of the book. In the years that followed and up to this point in time, I'm continually mentored, guided, supported, and taught what I need to know to move forward in my journey. This is the foundation I have that enables me to assist others in developing their own connection, own soul connection, and to live a life that is full of their heart's desires. So that's beautiful. So talking of your, the very valuable work that you do, Leeann, what are you working on at the moment?
I'm working with clients, and I do have a group, little group of women that get together, and we have the best fun. We just like we smile and we laugh and we talk about all sorts of things. And most importantly, though, I'm mentoring them as we go along, week after week that we meet, and I'm mentoring them into opening to more of their greatness, to see. I see their beauty, I see what they're capable of, and they sometimes don't, but I will kind of just gently give them a little prod,
Yeah.
and they know me so well now, and they actually love it, so that's really good. And I work one-on-one with clients as well. And I work more intuitively in that, what does the person need, like what does my client need, and how do we navigate and bring about their desires and their growth and their amazing journey that they are also embarking on. And I had a client today, and I was in awe of what I witnessed in the change, in just probably half an hour. And the energy that I saw around her was so incredible. It gave me goosebumps, and I'm getting goosebumps now talking about it.
That's
And
incredible.
it was so beautiful to witness. So I'm ever so grateful.
Mm. Desires growth in their witnessing their journey. And, like, it's really like a lot of people, a lot of women particularly, because I work with women and I know that you predominantly do with your group. If only they could see what we see,
Mm.
only they could feel. So to actually, and sometimes they will take it on by saying, but a lot of it's a bit of a process for them to really feel it within themselves, not just hear it from someone else. But I often say, if only you knew how magnificent you are, if
Mm.
only you felt how magnificent you are, because including myself along my journey, there's times where we do need to be reminded, but it's so much more obviously powerful, empowering when we actually start to feel it deep within ourselves. But to actually have other women reminding them and celebrating them is also
Mm.
very, very healing. And I know that the work that you're doing is very impactful. So what
Mm.
do you love?
Thank you.
Tell us about your life now, Leeann. What do you love about your life right now? Because you've been through a lot and you've come out the other side in many ways. There's always lessons. There's always new levels of healing and layers. But what's your life like now? Describe us your life right now, and what do you love about it?
Mm. I can really say with all of my being that this is probably the most comfortable, the most um, like stress free, the most accepting, and the most joyful I have ever felt in my life.
Wow.
And I absolutely love where I am right now. And I made a decision a little while ago. And I do feel that this had a huge impact on what's happening. I I did a big process on myself of letting go of some old things that were, like tagging along with me, Joe. And they wanted to be in my backpack. And I went, no, I'm done with you. So I did this amazing process for myself. And when that was done, I said to myself, I now choose to be happy.
Oh, I love that.
And I choose to be happy. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to be sad. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to get a little bit cheesed off with something, or, something might annoy me a little bit. But in all of that, I'm still going to stay happy.
Yes.
And I'm not sure if you know what it means when I say we can say it with our head and use words, but this was said with my whole being, my whole my whole being, like everything that wanted to come with me wanted to come into being happy.
Well, from a soul
And
perspective, yeah, a deep soul perspective, not
yeah,
just using
yeah,
words and using an affirmation, coming right deep within here, your core.
yeah, because sometimes, I could have said it like 2 years ago and said I want to be happy. I knew it just never sat. It never landed, never landed in my body. And these are the things that when I'm working with someone, these are the things I look for. So I look for them in myself. Yeah.
Yes, yes,
And now because it's landed, I'm overjoyed. Like there's so much joy and gratitude, which gives me the happiness. And I follow the breadcrumbs. I follow, oh,
mm,
what am I going to do here? And coming into the book was like a breadcrumb. And then, the next thing and the next thing and the next. So I just am following breadcrumbs at the moment, Joe. And I absolutely love that. As well as I love strawberries and mango and my puppy.
so do I. Well, I've just come back from Bali. I love dragon fruit as well.
Yes, and trees and nature and gardens,
Oh,
those things I love too. But I love how I've landed somewhere inside of me.
that's beautiful.
It's very beautiful. Mm. And
Now choose.
there's always more, so there's probably another place to land as
Yes,
well, Joe. So
yes,
I'll look forward to that one.
yes. Oh, wonderful,
Mm,
wonderful. So
yeah.
just before we finish up,
Mhm.
if you could give one piece of advice today to anyone listening, what would that be?
Mm. So it's really hard to just choose the one, isn't it?
Sure.
I, I, I one of one of my favorite sayings is, um, "You are beautiful just as you are. You are beautiful just as you are." And to me, that means it doesn't matter what's happening. It doesn't matter what you've gone through. It doesn't matter who you are, where you've. It's a little bit like the invitation, Joe. By um, Araya Mountain Dreamer, that beautiful invocation of the invitation. She says in there, it doesn't matter with whom you've studied or where you've traveled or what you've done. It's like, will you stand in the fire with me and shout out to the full moon, yes? So when I say, like, you are beautiful just as you are, just have the courage to stand in the fire, that that gives us courage and helps us to grow and shout out, yes, that yes, I will do it. I will do whatever.
That's
I will
beautiful.
do whatever.
And standing in that fight also reignites our passion as well.
Very
And
much.
brings us more joy. And I love, like, they're just two pearls of complete, beautiful wisdom just there, just even with those two very powerful statements. I now choose to be happy, deeply happy from a deep soul, heart and soul perspective. And I love that you said you are beautiful just the way you are.
Exactly.
Thank you, Leeann. Thank you for your beautiful wisdom and your insights, and for spending the last 30 minutes together chatting about your chapter. And this book is available. If you're wanting a copy from any of the authors, you can reach out to any of the authors, including Leeann. We've got a big official launch happening in Sydney on the weekend, and there's launches happening around Australia. But yeah, reach out to the individual authors and you can get yourself a copy of this amazing book. On Tuesday, it actually goes, we have a one-day sale for the ebook version. So that's happening on Tuesday. But reach out to myself or any of the authors for further information. Thank you, Leeann. Thank you so much. And thank you for being in this beautiful book. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.